I told this story before. I told it when it was exactly the right time and place for me to tell that story. Because it was like on a stage. And there's so much I can tell you about why it mattered that I was on the stage when I was telling the story. I live next to a train, so I will never feel lonely. In my other house, me and my boyfriend's house, we have a refrigerator, and it's kind of like broken. And because it's broken, it keeps making this sound, you know, like that kind of weird sound. It's actually a little bit more scary, like more scary than the way I did it. But it's so out of nowhere. Excuse me. It's so out of nowhere that you don't expect it to happen. It's that sort of thing. It's like, you know, and you just turn around and then you remember your existence. Weird, you know, thinking about how can a refrigerator make me feel, how can a refrigerator remind me that I'm alive, you know? It's funny to be reminded of being alive because you're already alive. You know, otherwise you wouldn't be able to hear this, obviously. When I first told this story, I thought it was the right time and place. I started telling it, and I felt this instinct to go with the flow, you know, say the right words at the right, whatever came to my mind, I just said it. I just did exactly what I thought I should be doing. It was exactly what I wanted to talk about, actually. It wasn't about the fact that it was a stage, the fact that it was on a big space where only I was at and I was sitting. That did not really matter. That did not really matter because I finally had people to tell the story to. There are some sorts of things that you can't really tell anybody, because if you tell it, they will call you crazy, or the people that you know, the people you want to tell it to, are also affected by the same thing, so you can't really just tell them because they already know. You don't want to make it worse. He was, now I know for sure, one of my favorite people in this world. He was. He truly was. And I'm not saying this just to make it really emotional, even though it is for me. I'm saying this because he really was. He was it's kind of funny to say this, but maybe he was the person that I loved the most in the world. I know that might hurt some people to say that, but that was the truth. That was my truth. And I never really knew why, you know. I never really knew I never really knew why he was one of my favorite, or my favorite person in the world. I knew she necessarily wasn't, and I had reasons for that, but I didn't have reasons for him being my favorite person in the world, you know? I mean, when you think about it, there's this quote that I really like. It says, like, draw a monster. Why is it a monster? It's kind of interesting. It tells you, you draw the monster, and then you're like, you look at it, and it's like, why is it a monster? Is it because it's scary? Why is it scary then? What makes the monster? You know, that sort of thing. There are all sorts of things that scare me, that can possibly scare any human being, more or less, than me. But they scare me nevertheless. There's so much to talk about when it comes to him and me, even though there's so little that I can point out to and say, this happened between the timeline that his and mine, our lives connected. Because we didn't really have that much time together. And I'm just 21. And by the time I've grown, I will probably realize we really didn't have that much time together. But still, he was my favorite person in the world. And at that stage, I talked about how I saw his knees. His knees, like his knees. His knees in a bag, him in a bag. How many feet down the ground? I don't know. I don't really know the kilometers, inches, meters. The train comes again. It's funny, my friends can't really talk when the train comes because they're not really used to it. They can't really talk because it bothers them when it's coming and going. They can't really understand they can't pick up the conversation from where it went off, but I can because the train is not something I recognize. It's not like the refrigerator, which is new to me. I want to be something. I want to do something. I want to be something. I've always wanted to be something. I've always wanted to do something. There's something weird about seeing your favorite person's knees in a bag. And skinnier than usual, because cancer, obviously. I knew what cancer was before, too, of course. My father had it. And his mother also had it. And so when he had it, I was not... It happens. Things happen. It's not like you can change anything, so... I don't know what that denial part in the grief really stands for, because... Well, the thing is, I saw his knees. I saw his knees, and they were very skinny. And this is the part that I kind of talked about. I wanted to see his knees. Not that I wanted to see his knees specifically, obviously, but I just wanted to see him for one last time. Just the physical him, you know, just being there. I just wanted to see it one last time. So I kind of I went there, just like everyone, you know how funerals work, and I just kind of went there. And when I told seeing his knees. I didn't cry. I just wanted to look. I just wanted to look, really. I just wanted to see. I bet he would never want me to see that. He would never want me to see that. But I still went there, you know. Our last time seeing each other, he was going to die. But I went there and I told him that I loved him. And I can't really do that usually, you know. I can't really go up to someone and just be so brave. But I knew he was going to die, and I held his hand, and like, I'm not really good with being physical with people. I can't really touch them that well. I held his hand until I told him that I loved him. And he opened his eyes. He gave me a look. He knew. He told me everything was going to be okay. I don't know how to explain it. But he told me everything was going to be okay. With that stare, obviously. The train comes and goes. You know, all my life, I felt like there was something wrong with me. When you look up close, I don't know if it's really that obvious. Maybe it really is more than that's not really relevant. But it feels okay. It feels really good. It feels really good telling you all about this. Oh. When I was telling this story, that's the fun part. She called me an asshole. She called me an asshole and I believed it. She should have called me stupid. You should never believe everything you hear. Especially if it's something bad about yourself. Because that will go, like the train, will go, come again. And if you're not used to that train, it will start to bother you. It's like being aware of breathing, you know. You're like, normally you wouldn't really think about breathing. You do it all the time. You're an expert at breathing. You're an expert at breathing, come on. And I'm an asshole, and you're an expert at breathing. Nice to meet you, and that's settled. Of course, I'm not making fun of you, if that's what you think. I've come to terms with this train. I've come to terms with this train because it just keeps going and coming, and it's reliable because nobody really is reliable, you know. I mean, I'm not. Maybe I am. Maybe now I am. I wasn't. I was. I don't even know. But I wasn't making fun of you. I wasn't making fun of you. I wasn't trying to be mean. See, that's the train. It comes and goes, comes and goes. It can't just not exist or exist all the time. It just has to come and go. I had a dog. I still have dogs. I had a dog, and she also died because of cancer. I'm not happy about that. That's not why I'm smiling now. I can't explain how her name was Pito. How Pito and I had a special connection. It's like you. I used to think we had some special connection between some things. But now, after everything that has happened, everything I have started to realize about myself, I've come to realize maybe that's just what normal people see when they meet someone. I still don't know what exactly happened, but I know it's bad. I know it's bad. I know it's bad. And knowing it's bad it's just a part of it. It's like you can't get through this. You can't really. Comes and goes, comes and goes. You can't get through it. You can live through it to some extent, but you can't get through it. Oh, if you'll excuse me, I'll just be right back. Do you like it? Yeah, it falls apart sometimes. I did it. I was really into puzzles at some point. I really liked them. right as I saw his knees, everyone was crying, you know. I should have been crying. I should have been crying. I should have been so sad. I should have been I should have stopped whatever I was doing. I should have been sad. I should have been crying. And I was alone for a very long time, you know. I can't really see without my glasses. I'm a little bit afraid of the dark. Like, I can't really see at all right now. But I still like to take my glasses off sometimes. I'm not really stable, you know. Don't take everything I say for granted. Don't assume that I'm logical. He was the only person in my life that did not know about the incident. It's so hilarious. I really can't see without my glasses. She called me an asshole. Of course she doesn't know. Of course she doesn't know why I said what I said. It's so stupid. That's the problem. That's the problem with me. But again, if I say this, it's gonna sound like I'm an asshole. So it's putting me in a, and I don't know how to get out of that. No. I would tell you, but if I tell you, then it's gonna be that one thing, or that I'm gonna be the other thing, and then I'm already that thing. So does it really matter? No. But I still don't want to be that thing. There is that thing. I sometimes feel like a boy. That's a funny way to say it. I don't mean about my sexuality or anything. It's not that kind of thing. Although I obviously respect everyone about, like, I really don't discriminate anyone about that. I just meant that when I say I feel like a boy sometimes, it's because I don't know how to act like a girl sometimes, because I didn't feel that safety that you need to act like a girl. So I just assumed that I wasn't girly, or but you see, that's the problem with me. I never really asked for help. So when somebody came to me and said, "You're not helping me," I would be like, I never ask you for help. You don't need to ask me. You can. Of course, I will do everything. But if I can't help you, don't be mad at me. That's all I ask for. I'm not a pillow. I'm not a pillow. I'm really, I don't know what I am. I'm not a pillow. That's for sure. I can be really annoying if I want. I'm sure you can too. I'm sure anyone can be really annoying if they want. I can be really happy and I can be like really, really cute if I want. I'm sure you can too. And I can be really angry. Usually not when I want. I can be shy. I can be brave. I can be an asshole. Possibly. But did I intend to be an asshole? No. I can intend to be an asshole. I can show you right away when I intend to be an asshole. If I was an asshole, I would be probably more like this. I would probably not really care. I would probably not really care at all. If I was an asshole, I would probably not really care at all. Not at all. But the thing is, I'm not. I'm not. And if I am, I really don't want to be, you know? I really don't want to be an asshole. I really don't want to be an asshole. I really don't. It's not like I like being an asshole. I don't want to be. It's just too much. I really don't know. I feel like a boy sometimes because I don't feel safe. Sometimes I think like, how did I manage to stay alive? I always thought this, but I never knew why. I thought like, why would you think, why am I alive? You know, it wasn't like a suicidal thing where I was like, why am I alive? No. Again, I'm not making fun of that. I really am not. I know what it's like. Trust me, I know. I've been there. I can be an asshole. I can be sad. I can not cry. But the thing is, I really cared about him. I really did. Don't know if it's showing to you right now, but I really loved him. I didn't know why until I knew why. It was because he was the only one that didn't know about the incident. I didn't know about the incident, even though I know. No, I still don't know. But everybody else was the enemy, and he wasn't. was not there. He was not there. He was not there in the summer house at that day. At the time of the event, he was not there. The train comes and goes, like it always came and went. Nothing too heavy about it. Nothing unusual about it. He was not there the day of the incident. He didn't know. He didn't know. He didn't know. He didn't know his whole life. He didn't know when his knees were going there and I wasn't crying. He didn't know. And I didn't know that he didn't know. Until last month or something. But he didn't know. He was the only person in the world that didn't know. Never heard of it. Wasn't there. Somebody must have lied to me because I remember him being in the balcony with her. And I thought they were sitting there. I thought they were sitting there. They weren't sitting there, by the way. They weren't. He wasn't there at all. And she wasn't there. She was just playing a game. And how did I know that he didn't know if someone lied to me and if I thought that he was there? That confuses me a lot. Because I should have known. I should have known somehow. I should have known one thing or the other thing. I can't just know both of them at the same time. Especially since they're contradictory, both of them. They're not the same thing, they're the opposite thing. So I can't just think I know both of them at the same time. But I had that feeling somehow. He was the only person that that didn't know. And that was why he couldn't help me. Because he didn't know. Maybe if he knew. Maybe I wouldn't grow up with that. Maybe I wouldn't have that train. Maybe I wouldn't be used to that train. But even when you're used to that train, every time it comes and goes, it's a problem because you can hear it and it's covering the way you're speaking. It's even if you speak louder, it's still, you know it's there. So knowing it's there is just. He loved football matches. She loved puzzles. He loved me. He couldn't really see. He couldn't really see at all. He wanted me to drive him somewhere. I really loved him, but I don't think I could ever show him. He didn't know. That's why I loved him so much. Because it makes me feel like I'm not completely helpless. If maybe he knew. He could have saved me. If only he knew, he could have saved me. Yeah.